Pamela Casas's 4-year-old goes to an in-home daycare. It costs her about $700 a month. But by 2025, kids his age could go to free transitional kindergarten at their public schools. But Casas doesn't know what she will do.
I worry that there's not enough one-on-one attention. So in that aspect, I consider staying where I'm at now.
Some parents told KPBS the cost of their childcare exceeds their mortgage payment. Casas's payment isn't that high, but she says she would continue paying out of pocket. That's if she doesn't like what is being offered at the public school.
Is it going to be equitable across all districts? Because we already know the districts, the way they are in California, like there's a lot of disparities even in that.
But not all parents have the luxury of choice.
So I think it will be a good thing for some families because at least it'll decrease the cost. But even though there's a cost-benefit analysis, is it still the right choice?
MAC is a county-wide organization that helps low-income families with resources like full-day childcare. CEO Arnulfo Manriquez says while universal TK is free, it will have a shorter schedule, which may not work for some families.
The majority of our population don't have the structure of work. They are essential workers and they have to be on site for the most part. So that's something that was very concerning for us. But it is important that the universal pre-K TK is out there, and needless to say, there's a huge need for it.
But he says if it's run well, it will help prepare kids for the classroom environment in kindergarten. Still, there may be unintended consequences to childcare providers.
In mid-August, I lost about a third of my enrollment very unexpectedly because the local elementary schools in our community had suddenly opened up a late 3s, early 4-year-old program.
Holly Weber, the owner of Magic Hours Preschool, lost some kids to a new TK program in Mira Mesa. Now, she has had to apply for a license to care for younger children to make up the loss. But changes to her business aren't her biggest concern.
There were children that still had frequent accidents throughout the day, that couldn't hardly express themselves to communicate and articulate their needs. Those are very, very critical components in a child's life. We could talk about how this is going to affect businesses all day long, but what we need to really, really focus on is the developmental concerns and the generation of children that will stem from this.
Weber fears that school districts will be burdened with a new set of responsibilities.
There's a reason why child care centers have staff with very specialized education for children birth through 5 years, as well as elementary staff have specialized credentials for teaching above 5 years of age. And how it's proposed to mix those models, I don't know.
Already, kids born between September and December get free TK. One teacher for that age group says for the program to work, schools need the proper resources. She asked that KPBS not use her name to protect her job.
I am concerned about how the district is going to implement this and whether or not they have the staffing to provide the adequate support for all the students that will be coming in. With the added extra students for all the 4-year-olds, they would definitely need to get a lot more staff that have both the teaching credential and the early childhood education unit.
That despite school districts across the region facing massive staffing shortages. Public schools have until the 2025 school year to figure it out. Tania Thorne, KPBS News.